You won't find any skimpy Halloween costumes during the vintage times. These were normally custom-made costumes that had one goal in mind: to scare the living bejesus out of people in the modern times. From mosquitoes riding around on bicycles to kids who you don't want to run into.
Here are the creepiest vintage Halloween costumes.
But first, thanks person with a really long name for wishing us a happy Halloween. At one point in time, everything was a whole lot scarier than it is now. We hope you enjoy this American Eye Halloween special on Halloween night. Number 24, Humpty Dumpty. If only she knew the fate of the last egg who sat on the wall. Dressing up as characters from nursery rhymes isn't usually creepy, unless you're from the past, of course. Hopefully, all the king's horses and all the king's men are waiting to put her back together again. We all know the ending doesn't go well for this nursery rhyme character, and maybe she just doesn't want to know the ending. Number 23, the Captors. Either these parents have some really spooky Halloween costumes, or this was some type of kidnapping gone horribly wrong. It almost appears as though the parents are holding the kid ransom in this photo, and we're sure this little guy is terrorized. The expression on his face almost makes you believe that he's completely overwhelmed with fear, and you have to wonder if he grew up to be a normal person after all this. Number 22, the Magic Ball. Would you be willing to take a seat with these creepy kids who have a mystical ball at the table? Probably not. These papier-mâché heads are just creepy enough to make you want to run away in a hurry. If you spot these three outside your door, you don't need a crystal ball to predict that you'll probably wet yourself. Number 21, the Badger Family. I'm not too sure how these hybrid badgers got together, but they seem to be the perfect couple. It almost appears as though they've just slayed two monster badgers and just used their heads for masks. These are pretty eerily realistic. It's not a spooky skeleton or anything, but something about a half badger, half human really sends chills down my spine. Number 20, Michelin Man. It almost looks like a mix between the Michelin Man from those tire ads and the Pillsbury Dough Brothers. Maybe he had glasses back then, but whoever decided to come up with a costume like that had a good idea how to creep people out of the future generation. Good luck trying to sell things looking like that. The black and white even makes it a tad bit creepier. Number 19, Mystery Masks. This creepy vintage Halloween photo was taken of 6 kids who made masks out of box and papier-mâché at an orphanage. They couldn't afford Halloween costumes like the rest of the kids, so they decided to construct ones that were even scarier like we see here. No one's gonna adopt these kids if the potential parents show up, and these are their choices. Yikes. Number 18, the Zombie Horsemen. We have to really hope that zombies someday in the future don't learn to ride horses, or we could be in serious trouble. These skeletal horsemen are bringing doom to a countryside near you and are drawing near. This could be a sign the apocalypse is coming soon, but they've lost the other 2 horsemen. It really seems to be the more efficient way to go to houses on Halloween night. The Chicken Man. Only few have seen the real Chicken Man with their own eyes. This urban legend was finally photographed on Halloween to prove its existence once and for all. He's occasionally seen at KFC when his cannibal urges get the best of him. You might occasionally see some chicken suits or some costumes in modern times, but the vintage ones are much more realistic, as you can tell from this photo. Number 16, Arson Disney Kids. What would be Halloween without a little mischievous behavior? These kids, disguised as harmless Disney characters, set a vehicle ablaze in a field. Some believe there was a body hidden inside. Others believe that the kids had played with their parents' matches. Whichever the case may be, these kids are pretty creepy. Number 15, the Twist of Fate. The tides have finally changed for now, and maybe pigs are the ones slaughtering humans for meat. This butcher here doesn't want to eat your candy and really only has one reason to show up to your door. The job might get a little bit messy, and maybe you should consider a kosher diet, or this guy's gonna get ya. This pig hasn't eaten for a while, and it's hoping to put you in the oven for Halloween dinner. Number 14, the Mother of Dolls. We all know dolls can be creepy, and it gets even scarier when we go all vintage style with this one. There aren't a whole lot of things scarier than an angry mother, but this one seems eerily horrifying. Legend has it that someone with a fascination with dolls during this period would make them with real human materials, such as hair, skin, eyes, and that doll over there looks strangely realistic. Number 13. The Bike Riding Mosquito. Not only are mosquitoes nuisances that need to stop flying around and sucking your blood, they're also blocking traffic. Be careful when you're driving around on Halloween night because you might get in trouble if you squish this giant bug. This photo of a giant mosquito who learned to ride a bike somehow is ready to ruin your weekend with a few bites. Consider leaving a bowl of fresh blood on your porch so it'll leave you alone. Number 12. Don't take the stairs. Is there an elevator, magic carpet, or something we could use to get up the stairs? Please, it would be nice to just get back to the apartment without having to deal with ghosts and ghouls this one time. Once again, if this was from Halloween, this would make sense. Number 11. Ronald McNightmares. If Ronald McDonald didn't already seem creepy enough, imagine him, but more vintage style. Well, there it is. Here in this photo, you see him delivering a drink and what appears to be french fries. Maybe amputated fingers. Who knows? It's unclear if this was just a spooky Halloween costume of the real Ronald McDonald at that time, but either way, it's pretty freaky. It makes you wonder how McDonald's became so popular even after creepy ads like this. It makes you really wonder how McDonald's became so popular even with creepy clowns like this. Number 10. Monsters from your closet. This is exactly why you should sleep with the lights on, especially on Halloween night. Unfortunately, this didn't scare off the spooky monster that was hiding in your closet. What exactly this photo was meant to represent is unknown, but it would certainly freak the bejesus out of anyone who woke up to see this. Number 9. The elderly children. Just two completely normal elderly children sitting here on this double-seated chair with their hands neatly folded behind their backs. They've invited you over for dinner, but we're not exactly sure what they're planning on eating. This normally wouldn't be too scary, although the masks are frighteningly realistic. You can also kind of tell that these kids are just up to no good. Number 8. I See You. Imagine the amount of damage you can cause with just one bottle of pepper spray. You have to wonder just a little bit how they can see so well with those masks on. This was apparently taken from a band called The Residents sometime during the 1960s or 70s. Seems like the perfect Halloween costume for the Illuminati. They were known for using cryptic messages in their music, and if you've seen their videos online, they're pretty spooky. Number 7. Robot Love. Who said robots can't fall in love with each other? What makes them any less alive than we are? They might not have hearts, but their CPU circuit seems to be pounding pretty hard when they see each other. One thing is sure about the two, and that's that they're extremely creepy. Number 6. Botched Minnie Mouse. We've seen how Disney characters can turn out to be pretty creepy, especially during vintage Halloween time, but it gets even scarier when those Disney characters are exposed to some type of radiation and grow abnormally large limbs. This Minnie Mouse here seems anything but normal, and she looks like she came straight out of Chernobyl. Number 5. The original Batman. You're probably familiar with the Batman comic books and whatnot, but where did the origins of Batman even come from? Is it possible there was a real Batman at some point? Could it be the creators got the idea from this horrifying vintage Halloween costume? Number 4. The Wrong Forest. So you thought you could take a shortcut through a dark and creepy vintage forest in order to get to the next Halloween party, huh? It turns out that the forest was completely run by feral children who are wearing the clothing of their recent victims. It looks like you're gonna have to pay these kids with candy or something, or they may decide to not let you pass. And what kind of evil beast is that thing on the right? Number 3. Farmer Fred. It looks like this guy here in the photo must ask you a question. There's no background information on this one, but we can probably guess that the little girl is being held against her will by this evil-looking vintage farmer. If it really is her father, she must be extremely worried that she shares the same genetics. Number 2. Alone for the Night. Halloween parties are all the rage in modern times, and people are looking for a good time. But this woman here didn't get invited to any festivities. Her date canceled on her last minute, and she had nowhere else to go. Now she's just sitting at the table by herself, possibly plotting out her revenge on an unsuspecting victim. She's all dressed up in white and will find her true love one way or another. And number 1, the Woman Eater. Make sure you choose carefully which houses you go to on Halloween night, or this might happen to you. Looks like one of the kids might have accidentally made it through the door while trick-or-treating. The pain must have been agonizing, and she probably wishes the person would have started eating her the other way. Which vintage Halloween costume did you think was the scariest? Let us know in the comment section, and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video.